Cyberpunk 2077 is out on December 10th, but for all the information that CD Projekt RED has provided regarding Night City and its current state, there is a ton of lore that's led up to this. With all that's happened decades before, what are some possible story beats that we can expect? Let's theorize about some of them here. Possible spoilers for certain story aspects, like Johnny Silverhand's past, await, so be warned. Fourth Corporate War Aftermath. The Fourth Corporate War, which saw ARASAKA and Militech going to war, is what shaped a number of events heading into Cyberpunk 2077. This includes the division of ARASAKA into three factions, Militech being used by the US government, and the near collapse of the world economy. Johnny Silverhand, who worked with Militech as a subcontractor, is also one of the casualties of the battle with ARASAKA. Given all the insanity that took place, it wouldn't be surprising if V were to come into contact with Militech, perhaps as part of the Corpo life path, to destroy it from the inside. Either way, expect references to the Fourth Corporate War in Cyberpunk 2077, along with some familiar faces, some teased and others confirmed to be making an appearance. Atom Smasher Showdown. One of those familiar faces is Atom Smasher, the cyborg that killed Johnny when the latter's team infiltrated Arasaka Tower. Smasher is confirmed to be in Cyberpunk 2077 and has apparently found his own space to thrive in while continuing to serve under Arasaka. What has he been up to for all these years though? Is Smasher's desire for civilian casualties and heavy collateral damage still intact? One way or another, V, and by extension Johnny, seems to be destined for a fight against Smasher. Who knows, it might even be possible to take some of his cyberware for yourself, if not the full Dione power armor. Morgan BLACKHAND is alive. This one seems obvious, but for some context. Morgan BLACKHAND was a renowned solo who took on mercenary work for Militech and was famed for completing jobs without killing anyone. His reputation often put him at odds with Atom Smasher, and the two finally faced off during the Fourth Corporate War. When Arasaka Tower was in the midst of being destroyed, Morgan fought with Smasher in a battle to the death. Smasher is alive all these years later, so it seems a given that Morgan is also out there somewhere plotting his next move. Perhaps this involves helping V and Johnny take out Smasher, or maybe he's pulling some strings in Militech to eventually destroy Arasaka. Finding Richard Knight's killer. Before Night City, there was Coronado City, created by Richard Knight as the city bankrolled and ruled by mega corporations. Of course, being so famous meant that Knight had his fair share of enemies. His ex-colleagues fell in with the mob, which ruled Coronado City for several years before the mega corporations eventually decimated them. Knight received numerous threats during the building process and was eventually killed, leading to the name Night City instead. So the question is, who killed Richard Knight? It wouldn't be surprising to investigate this case and either meet with Knight's ex-colleagues or their descendants, or find that someone else was involved. Perhaps it was Arasaka looking to establish its dominance over the city. Whatever the case may be, it's an interesting rabbit hole to tumble down. Danger Girl cases. Speaking of cases, it's highly likely that V will run into Danger Girl at some point. Though essentially a private investigation and security firm, it's run by Michiko Arasaka, granddaughter of Arasaka's CEO. Though Danger Girl takes on cases for high-profile clients, it's funded in secret by President Elizabeth Kress, who has an axe to grind with Arasaka after the Fourth Corporate War. Furthermore, Michiko is far from the ideal heiress. In 2045, she worked with Kress to take out any operations that her family had been running. However, she's also in charge of the Hado faction of Arasaka. What is her long-term goal, and for that matter, what does Danger Girl have planned for Night City? Becoming embroiled in her schemes and that of the other factions seems inevitable. Allying with Arasaka factions. Following the Fourth Corporate War, Arasaka saw the rise of three factions. Kiji, led by Hanako, who's in line with her grandfather's plans, Hado, led by the aforementioned Michiko with her own agenda, and Taka, led by Yorinobu, who rebelled against Saburo at some point. While Taka could be yet another element working to bring down Arasaka, though it's implied that he's doing so from the inside as part of the company, Hanako could be the default Corpo Alliance option for V and lead to the morally bad ending. Michiko could have her own plans and simply end up manipulating V, but that still opens up the possibility of taking over Arasaka for oneself. Given that you can't ally with Night City's gangs, it would be interesting to see how working with Arasaka's factions will pan out. Reuniting with Alt. Alt Cunningham is a central figure in the Cyberpunk universe. She developed the Soul Killer, a black program capable of digitally replicating a person's mind. However, it leaves their body empty and left to rot. If you're getting Ghost in the Shell vibes, don't worry, we'll get to that soon. As Johnny Silverhand's girlfriend, Alt developed the program for ITS but was kidnapped by ARASAKA to replicate it. When Johnny came to rescue her, ARASAKA used Soul Killer on her, which left Alt to escape to the net. She was recaptured by the mega corporation several years later, which prompted Johnny to work with Militech and Morgan BLACKHAND to rescue her and destroy the new Soul Killer. Following the Fourth Corporate War, Alt established Ghost Town for those who died by Soul Killer, which was last reported to be in Hong Kong. A reunion with Alt, especially with Johnny's current circumstances, wouldn't be impossible, especially when talking about the RELIC. Developed by ARASAKA, this prototype is capable of making its user immortal. Debuting in Cyberpunk 2077, the chip is what keeps V from dying and also allows Johnny Silverhand's ghost to inhabit his mind. The obvious theory here is that Johnny's body was killed during the Fourth Corporate War, but the new Soul Killer allowed a digital replica of him to be created. It's possible this was done by Alt, that too without Johnny's knowledge, since he seemed surprised to find himself in digital form when Dexter Deshawn killed V. How he ends up in the Relic is unknown, but this could be another ploy by Alt to ensure Johnny's survival. Or it could be a plan by Yorinobu to sabotage the corporation, finally coming out to top over his father. Breaching the Blackwall. We've seen quite a lot of the Voodoo Boys and their quest to destroy the Blackwall. But what is the Blackwall? It's essentially a firewall developed by NetWatch to segregate the old web containing the various rogue AIs and demons from the net. Trying to breach the Blackwall could result in death via brain melting. However, with the immortality chip in V's possession, it may be possible and could even allow for seeing the various secrets and artifacts scattered in the old web. One may even encounter different demons to engage in cyberspace battles with their summons. Meeting TSAIs. Of course, the kicker is that destroying the Blackwall will allow the various rogue AIs to create havoc. This could result in the end of the world, but what's more intriguing is the possibility of encountering legendary transcendental sentience or TSAIs. These are AIs that came to be naturally and which preside over large parts of the old web. It's possible that V could encounter one and perhaps help it achieve its purpose. Whether that's to destroy the Blackwall or something else remains to be seen, but it's still one of the cooler encounters that could happen.
And that wraps it up. If you like what we are doing, please consider subscribing to our channel, and don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon. That way you will never miss out on any of our videos.